Good afternoon. My name is Cruz, and I represent in Miami the International Foundation for Freedom, whose president is the Literature Nobel Prize awardee, Mario Vargas Llosa. A few years ago, our president decided to bring to Miami one of the most beautiful programs of the International Foundation for Freedom, the Vargas Llosa Chair, whose mission is to contribute to the study and dissemination of contemporary literature, to stir up the debate on issues related to culture, to promote new generations of writers, and to bring creators closer together. And it was within this context that my Miami Migration Story Contest was created, with the aim to attract new generations to literary composition and to highlight the virtues of multiculturalism, as it is the trace that defines our city, Miami. The project became a reality thanks to the school board of Miami-Dade County that approved the launch of the project in December 2022. Also, we got the support from the Miami History Museum, and especially its president, Natalia Cruz. Then Enrique Cusco, through his quite successful company, Ole Interactive, provided the seed capital to start the project. And then we also have the support of the foundation Meta Miami, and especially its president, Milagros Maldonado. We also enjoy the support of Argus Capital and its chairperson, Salomon Saga, and also the Miami Herald. Thanks to all of them, we are all here. I would like to take a minute also to express my appreciation to the work done by Isabel Perez and David Padilla Sr. Without them, I would have collapsed and you wouldn't have had any contest. They were the driving force, solving problems, getting people together, and getting the deadlines met within a very, very hectic schedule. Thank you to both of them. Before starting the ceremony with the welcoming address of the president of the Miami History Museum, Natalia Cruz, I'm going to introduce the distinguished members of today's presiding committee, for whom I ask a very sound round of applause. Álvaro Vargas Llosa, who is the academic director of the International Foundation for Freedom. Maritere Rojas is the Miami-Dade County Board of Schools president. Natalia Cruz is the president of the History Miami Museum. Daniel Sher Roth is service journalist editor at the Miami Herald, Nuevo Herald. Milagros Maldonado is the chairperson of Meta Miami. Dr. Modesto Meidike is the president of the jury. And David Padilla was our student ambassador for the contest. Thank you. I will now call on Natalia Cruz to deliver the welcoming address. Natalia is a lifelong learner and enthusiastic advocate of community building through arts, culture, and innovation. A seasoned executive with experience in journalism, strategic planning, and cultural institutions leadership, who is committed to nurturing talent and fostering inclusive environments. Welcome, Natalia.
Good afternoon, everybody. Allow me to bring my glasses out because you'll see kids at some point. You cannot live without them. But I cannot tell you how excited I am to welcome everybody today. And I want to thank Beatriz and all the important people that are joining us, because this is the core of what we do at History Miami. At History Miami Museum, we believe that every person has a story worth telling, and every community has a tradition worth celebrating. And that is why for 85 years, we have been collecting and sharing Miami stories. This work inspires everything we do, and is why I'm so pleased to support this important initiative from the perspective of the museum, and to support the International Foundations for Freedom and Cátedra Vargas Llosa in this initiative. The Miami Immigration Story Essay Contest reflects the heart of History Miami's mission, preserving and sharing the stories that define Miami. Through the power of storytelling, these essays offer a window into the diverse journeys that have shaped our vibrant city, a city built by generations of immigrants and newcomers who made Miami home. Today, we recognize not only the creativity and talent of these young writers, but also the courage that it takes to put such deeply personal experiences into words. Their stories remind us of the resilience and the hope that define the spirit of our magic city. We're incredibly proud that the winning essay will be preserved in our museum's collection. This will ensure that these voices become a permanent part of our shared history. To the winners, congratulations on this incredible achievement, and to all participants and the ones that made this happen, thank you for sharing your story and your passion with us. To our partners and sponsors of the esteemed jury, thank you for making this initiative possible. The importance of this work goes beyond this award and this recognition to these young minds. Is the importance of fostering a love for storytelling and ensuring that Miami's diverse stories are heard, honored, and remembered. So let's continue to celebrate the stories that bring us together, and thank you so much for making History Miami part of this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia. At the International Foundation for Freedom, we cherish the generous support of this institution, and we consider the Miami History Museum the home of our contest. We will now call on Maritere Rojas, Chair of the Miami-Dade Board of Public Schools. We are very fortunate to have Ms. Rojas chairing our school board, as she is a professional educator of more than 45 years, who has held various high-level administrative and teaching positions in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. She was teacher, assistant principal, region director, assistant superintendent of the Office of Professional Standards, administrative assistant to a school board member, and a school board member for District 6. Ms. Rojas was recently re-elected as chair of the Board of Public Schools. We welcome, with a round of applause, Ms. Rojas.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Are you excited to be here? Yes. This is the first time ever we do something like this in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, the best school district in the nation, and the third largest A-rated school district for 5 years. And we have students that glow just like this young man who's right next to me, who's being honored today. Let's give him a round of applause and make us so proud to be here. I want to start off first and foremost by apologizing to you all, because today is a Teacher of the Year event. This is when we select the teacher and rookie teacher of the year for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and I have to be the first speaker. So I'm gonna speak here and run over there. So I do apologize. I would have loved to have stayed the entire time. And I want to thank all of our distinguished guests, our friends, our community leaders who are here with us, our teachers. And let me see those teachers that are here. Please stand to be recognized a moment, because it's your time to shine. Thank you. You do God's work on earth each and every day. We certainly appreciate it. Our parents, our proud parents. Can we see the parents? Los padres que están aquí. And we could not do it with collaboration with all of you. And of course, the reason why we're all here, our students, the future leaders of tomorrow. Stand up one more time. You need that recognition, sir. As the chair of the Miami-Dade County School Board, and on behalf of our vice chair, Monica Colucci, and my esteemed colleagues on the board, it is an absolute honor for me to participate in this very prestigious event this afternoon. In researching for this event, I was delighted to read that La Cátedra Vargas Llosa became a reality for us in the year 2011 with the purpose of promoting the study of contemporary literature, promoting interest in reading, which is extremely important, and also in writing, and supporting the new Ibero-American literacy creation, analyzing the ideas of our time, and developing models of technological innovation for education, research, and scientific, as well as cultural dissemination, in addition to disseminating the work of Mario Vargas Llosa. Let's give Mario Vargas Llosa a round of applause because he was the Nobel Prize recipient in literature in 2010. And we are so very, very fortunate today to be able to be part of something that he started. It is truly a great honor for his native land, Peru, and for all of Latin America. In the words of our distinguished Nobel Prize winner in literature, a pride of Latin American literature, Mario Vargas Llosa, and as described on the website, it states the following. Quote, although la cátedra bears my name, the dissemination of my work is far from its only objective. It also aims to contribute to the study and dissemination of contemporary literature, to stir up the debate on matters related to the culture, to promote new generation of writers, and to bring together creators, critics, thinkers, and other protagonists to our cultural life. These words from a great literary man exemplify and truly tribute to an example of humility, of innovation, and of tremendous excellence. This great moment celebrating excellence as it relates to the International Studies Academy, ISPA, under the leadership of an amazing person at the helm, our very own principal, and I want her to stand to be recognized, Dr. Alina Diaz Blanco. Let's give her a round of applause. And of course, with the entire team, because it's teamwork that makes the dream work. It's never just one person, but you have to have that person at the helm to be the shaker and the mover. And she certainly did that with this particular program that we're celebrating today. We had the incredible honor, again, of collaborating with the esteemed members of the Vargas Llosa team, and we especially want to take this opportunity to thank you, el señor Álvaro Vargas Llosa. Muchísimas gracias, pues sin usted pues nada hubiera sido posible, y un gran honor tenerlo a usted representando a su papá también. Gracias. I also want to thank Meta Miami because you played a crucial role. So let's hear it for Meta Miami. The Miami Herald, Where are the members here? I know we have them, yes. And of course, Natalie, you spoke earlier. Thank you for hosting us today. It's such a pleasure. And we look forward to working very collaboratively with you as well in the future. Thank you so much. Let's give them all a round of applause. And they are the ones that truly inspired the literary project, My Migration Story. This captivating contest with ISPA's senior student, David Padilla, as ambassador, was designed for students in grades 9 through 12 and offered them a unique platform to share their personal or their family migration experiences and their perspectives through the art of storytelling, which mirrors the experiences of many immigrant students in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. The highest purpose of the Vargas Llosa is to ignite the love for writing. So important to put into words how you feel. And that is exactly what happened here. The love for writing among young people. But this project truly went beyond that. The profound impact of these heartfelt stories on the teachers as well as on the judges who read them was truly transformative. It just touched every single one of them deeply. The narratives revealed insights into the students' lives that might have otherwise remained unspoken, deepening the connection between the students and the educators. Thank you for inspiring the love of writing, of thinking beyond boundaries, and for your very generous award to our students and to our school. Please know that as the chair of the school board, I am thrilled to be part of this amazing event. Thank you all so very much. May God bless you all. And I look forward to hopefully an expansion of what we started this year as we move forward in future years to come. So remember, MDCPS, your best choice. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ms. Rojas. That was quite inspiring. Thank you so much. My Miami Immigration Story Short Essay Contest posed a challenge to the minds of the very distinguished jury members who had a rough time in choosing 3 winners. Such task proved to be impossible, as there was a tie for the 3rd place between Vincenzo Calana and Emilia Molina. So, in order for us to get the perspective of the jury, I am going to invite to take the floor Dr. Modesto Medique, one of the greatest leaders of education building in our country. Dr. Medique is a Harvard alumnus, a business person, and an educator. He was the 4th president of the Florida International University, whose main campus is named after him. Appointed in 1986, Dr. Medique was the longest-serving university president in Florida and the 2nd longest-serving president of a research university in the United States. Welcome, Dr. Medique.
Thank you very much, Beatriz. I'd like to take you back a million years for just a minute. As I look around this room, I think everybody is a Homo sapiens. There may be one I'm not too sure about, maybe Neanderthal. But a million years ago, there were many humans roaming the earth. And from what we've been able to determine, fossil studies and other data, the Neanderthals were bigger than us Homo sapiens. They were stronger. Some even believe that they were smarter. Yet we prevailed. We, the Homo sapiens, and those of you that have done genetic studies will realize I'm 2.2% Neanderthal. There was intermarriage or intercoupling between them. If you look at your either 23andMe or Ancestry.com, there probably isn't anybody in this room that doesn't have some Neanderthal blood. Why even mention this? What planet am I coming from? Well, the question is why? Why did we, or our ancestors a million years ago, triumph over the Neanderthals? And this is really an important lesson for the students that are here. It's because when Homo sapiens encountered the Neanderthals, said, man, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're maybe even smarter. We, Homo sapiens, communicated and said, okay, the best way is to go this way, then that way, then we can trick them in. We were able to communicate better. And that's true today. The best communicators get the best jobs. The best communicators are more successful. And that is why this contest is so important, because it's important for the winners, but it's even more important as a message to those that would succeed in today's society. Communication is absolutely essential. And I'll tell you, I was a member of the jury, but I don't envy the other members or myself. There were so many excellent essays. It was, I remember when I was a professor at Harvard, they were so good, we would say, well, you get on a staircase, you throw the exams, and you give the A's to the highest in the staircase downstairs. It becomes difficult to make a judgment, but after a lot of discussion, we were able to identify 3, then 4, because we couldn't settle on the last 2. They were so good. Excellent essays. I mean, I had to immediately inquire, how old are these people? Are they 30? No, they're 14, they're 15, they're 16. So it was a great honor for me, Alvaro. And as you know, your father and I are friends like forever. We had the honor of having Mario Vargas Llosa as a professor at FIU for a year, and I think it was a mutual love affair. He fell in love with Miami, we fell in love with him, and it's great that these awards carry such a prestigious name, the name of one of the top Latin American intellectuals of the last century. So thank you very much for your support. All of you who supported. Also got to know a number of people I didn't know before, and that adds to the whole value of the experience. And I want to thank you for having the confidence in me to lead the jury. I had a lot of experience. I was a member of the Miss Columbia pageant, so I had experience in selecting winners. So thank you very much, Beatriz, for your great work, and you'll tell me where to go now.
Thank you, Dr. Maidike. We now welcome Daniel Sherroth, service journalist editor of the Miami Herald Nuevo Herald, with a journalist career that spans over 3 decades and an ability to command any communications platform. Daniel has become one of the most admired leaders in at the Herald. Daniel is the recipient of awards from the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, the National Association of Hispanic Publications, Society of Professional Journalism, and has received 3 GLAAD awards. Welcome, Daniel.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's truly an honor to stand before you today representing the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald as we celebrate the winners of this incredible contest and the powerful stories that make up the soul of Miami. 12 years ago, the Herald launched an initiative inviting adults to share their migration stories. That project was a powerful testament to the transformative impact of migration. And today, this contest, My Miami Migration, feels like its natural successor, carrying forward the same spirit and now with the voices of a younger generation. Migration is not just movement, it's transformation. For many of us, it's a journey marked by sacrifice, resilience, and hope. It's a story I know too well. In 1997, I left Venezuela as a young graduate student, carrying little more than a dream. I didn't know where this path will lead, but I believed, like so many immigrants, that a better life was waiting somewhere beyond the horizon. What I didn't expect was the long road ahead, one filled with uncertainty, moments of doubt, and countless obstacles. 12 years later, in 2009, I stood in a room with 198 others from 30 different countries, and we raised our hands to take the oath of citizenship. That day was more than a culmination of paperwork and perseverance. It was the realization of a dream shared by millions who leave behind everything for a chance at freedom. When I was asked by the USCIS staff, the immigration staff, to speak at the ceremony, I looked around the room and said, "Where else in the world do you see people from so many nations become citizens of one same country on the same afternoon?" And everybody clapped. At that moment, I realized that migration is not just about finding a new home, it's about becoming part of a greater story. It's about carrying forward the dreams of those who came before us and building a future for those who will come after. And today, we honor a new generation of storytellers who have bravely shared their migration experiences. These young writers remind us that every immigrant journey, no matter how different, has a common thread: courage. The courage to leave the familiar, to embrace the unknown, and to shape the future. When I think of Miami, I think of a city built on stories like this, stories of perseverance, of love for family, and of unshakable belief that we can rise above our struggles. These stories are the heart of who we are, and they deserve to be told, preserved, and celebrated. To the young writers here, I want to say this: never stop sharing your stories and your truth. Your words have the power to inspire, to bring people together, and to heal. In your stories, we find the essence of what it means to be human, our ability to overcome, to connect, and to thrive. Let us continue writing. Let us continue honoring our journeys and those of our parents and grandparents who dreamed of something more. Together, we are the legacy of migration. Together, we prove that dreams have no borders. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Dr. Alina Diaz-Blanco is one of the most revered principals in the Miami-Dade County. Under her leadership, the International Studies Preparatory Academy has obtained 3 precious awards: a AP Platinum Honor Roll School, a 2024 School of Excellence by the Florida Department of Education, and one of the top high schools in Florida. My Miami Immigration Story Contest would not have been a reality without Dr. Diaz-Blanco's leadership. When presented with the opportunity to launch the contest at ISPA, she immediately supported the idea, and it was thanks to her and her magnificent group of teachers that the contest received 216 essays. Please, Dr. Diaz.
Thank you all for this wonderful opportunity for our school and for our students. First, I want to thank all the organizations that were involved that made this possible. But I always am about kids, and I'm always about students. So, David, I am extremely proud of you. I remember you coming into my office to talk to me about this idea, and at first I was like, what? And to see it in this culminating manner is absolutely it's why I do what I do. It's why those teachers here do what they do. So I'm very proud of you, and I know that when you graduate in June, you're gonna go off and do amazing things. To you four, what you guys did and the fact that they chose you, we had so many candidates. Our school is very unique. We're a school of 377 students that represents over 54 countries. You really have to listen to that math to understand. It is a building that I just spoke to somebody and I said, there's nothing I can tell you about it. You have to come see it. You have to come experience it, and you have to come feel it. All of you that so generously supported this program and are recognizing our students, I humbly invite you to come and visit our school. I know my staff is going crazy, like, oh my God, now we have to prepare something else, but that's okay, because we are so proud. Some of you already got the chance to see. It is very different. We are a family. We are a family that is diverse. It is a building where in one corner you're gonna have students speaking in Spanish, in another corner you're gonna have students speaking in English, in another corner French, and in another corner Italian. And everybody gets along. It's absolutely a true representation of the United Nations. We get to see it and experience it every day, and it is amazing. Guys, you made so many of us really see more of who you were. Don't ever stop being proud of who you are, telling your story like you were already encouraged to do so, and your passion for writing and expressing your ideas. Continue to do it and carry yourselves in the way that you guys carry yourselves, with pride yet humble. I am so proud of you guys. Today has been just an amazing day, and I look forward to many more of these because ISPA is 100% committed, and we're excited to spread to other schools, private, charter, public, it doesn't matter, the opportunity to also spread their voice. So thank you again, and congratulations to my babies.
And to close this round of conversations, we will call on Álvaro Vargas Llosa, Academic Director for the International Foundation for Freedom. Álvaro is a distinguished writer, a political commentator, and a public speaker of international affairs. He's also a writer and presenter of a documentary series for National Geographic Channel on contemporary Latin American history that is being shown around the world. He's also a pain in the neck when you have to meet schedules.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. I am truly honored to be here in such great company. I am extremely proud of the results of the efforts of the last few years. The level of participation was beyond our wildest imagination. I am incredibly impressed with the literary talent displayed in these essays. I believe I have read all of them. And I am also extremely impressed by I would say the emotional and the intellectual maturity shown in these essays. Some of these stories are, I wouldn't go as far as saying traumatic, but they're not too far from that. So how you confront your story is as important as how you tell it, and what lessons you draw, you learn from those stories, and how you build upon that background for the future is, I think, of extraordinary importance. And what came across in these essays, at least what I took from them as a reader, was that there's a generation here of very young people who have an intellectual and emotional maturity that is really beyond the years, and that will make the experiences they have told us about in such a potent way a building block for their character, for their leadership, for their professional life in the future. I also want to thank some people and some institutions. I have a little list here. I don't want to leave anybody out. They have been mentioned already, most of them, but I truly think that they deserve our gratitude, because this has been tough. Somebody reminded me today that it all started before COVID, in that long gone era, and it therefore got interrupted. The whole effort was interrupted by the COVID experience, and then we had to take it up again. And then we had to surmount many other obstacles in order to get here. And I think the people and the institutions who were involved in this deserve our deep felt gratitude. So let me thank, of course, Natalia, not only for hosting us, but for being there from the very beginning. I'm a witness to that. She has been relentless, and she has been very loyal to this project from the very beginning. I want to thank the steering committee of the contest, Salomon Saga, David Padilla, of course, David has already been mentioned, Isabel Perez, who was also there from the very beginning, and she has made an extraordinary contribution, and of course Eduardo Varela, who's also been enormously important. Maritere, she has left, but Maritere Rojas was really instrumental in making this possible. The Miami-Dade Board of Public Schools supported this project from the very beginning, and it was in large part thanks to her involvement in the idea, her support for the idea that made that institutional support possible. Alina, of course, Alina has been incredibly supportive. Your school, as ISPA, has been the anchor of the whole project, and even though in the future we plan to involve other schools, we will never forget where it all began, where it all started. Thank you so much for what you've done for us. Daniel, I loved your speech, by the way. I think you said some very important things, and I think that way of looking at this contest in many ways captures what was in our minds from the very beginning, and our motivation from the very beginning. And of course, our extraordinary jury. Thank you so much, Modesto, for presiding and leading the jury. Modesto, as he said, is an old friend. We consider him an old friend in the family, not only a great educational leader in this community, but also a personal friend, and we value him enormously. So the fact that he accepted the invitation to be a part of this project, I think enriched the project very much from the very beginning. David Webb, who was also extremely supportive from the very beginning, and he was also a member of the jury, and Natalia herself, who was also, as I said, from the very beginning, very supportive, and accepted the invitation to be a part of the jury. So thank you so much to all of you. Let me say a few words about the contest, but let me first share with you my experience as an immigrant. I am I guess I'm an immigrant many times over, because I have been an immigrant in several different countries, and I've experienced immigration in very different ways and in very different types of countries. I'm a native of Peru. I was born in Peru, but at a very, very early age, I went to England first and then to Spain. And then when I got back to Peru, my first impression and some of my first recollections have to do with how other school children made fun of my Spanish accent. I had spent some time in Spain, of course, and I spoke Spanish with a Spanish accent, which in Peru was seen as something really weird, coming from a Peruvian, a native of Peru. But then things got even more interesting, because I was sent to England for my high school. And on my first day, a fellow student asked me, do you have cars in Peru? So of course I replied, no. We prefer, by way of transportation, to swing from one tree to the other, clinging to those vines called lianas, just like Tarzan. Later on in that very same school, they started calling me a Paki, which is a kind of derogatory term for Pakistani, for a very simple reason. The only experience these English guys had of migration was the Indian and Pakistani community, which is, as many of you probably know, extremely large in England. So they call me a Paki. I'd never been in South Asia at all, but I did get to go to Pakistan many years later, many decades later. And I remember feeling strangely at home in Pakistan, even though I didn't speak a word of Urdu, or I'd never been in South Asia before. So I went back 3-4 times, I think, to Pakistan, and my family kept asking, why do you always go to Pakistan? Why not somewhere else? Well, probably because I felt really at home in Pakistan because of that early childhood immigrant experience. Much later in life, I worked in Spain for a while, and they started calling me Sudaca. That term became, at the time, common currency in Spain, which was, again, a derogatory term, basically describing South Americans in general. But the funny thing is, every time I flew back to Peru, in Peru they would call me a Spaniard. So I could never win. I was always on the losing side of things, until I came to the United States, because for the first time, it didn't matter where I came from. What mattered was where I was headed. And that's what made my experience as an immigrant in this country different from all the other experiences. In all the other countries where I'd been, where you came from was something that mattered very, very much. In the United States, it mattered a lot less. And I think that is one of the first things that struck me as an immigrant in this country. Of course, it's a country built on the idea of the future. It's a country built on the idea of achievement. So it made a lot of sense that where you came from mattered less than where you were headed. But still, I think that was an interesting contrast as an immigrant. I have been very moved, very touched by your stories. I identify with many of them. I think in many ways those stories define what Miami is and what your generation is for Miami. In many ways, the Miami story is the story of thousands of people like you, but with one difference, which is your ability and your willingness to tell the story. And I think this is extremely important. An experience becomes something very different than the experience itself once you put pen to paper, once you transform it into the written word. It's almost a magical kind of process by which you turn something called experience into something that's an act of creation. There was nothing there until the written word turns it into something new, a form of creation. And it involves many things. It involves imagination, even though everything you tell in your essays happened to you. You're not telling us, you're not inventing a story, you're not making up a story, you're telling us something that really happened to you and the way you felt at the time. But the written word is this magical process by which the story becomes, in a way, autonomous, kind of independent from the experience where it came from. And it will live forever because it is the written word. And I think it's fascinating to see what it tells me about your generation, what it tells me, therefore, about this city and this county from the perspective of your generation. Modesto is so right. Communication is a key reason why civilization became possible. I would add to that from the dawn of civilization, storytelling was one of the foundations on which that civilization was built. It would not have happened without storytelling. Storytelling became a way of holding the community together, a way of preserving the legacy, a way of passing that legacy on to the next generation, a way, therefore, of communicating one generation with the others, with the previous and with the next. And so storytelling has played a key role in the development of civilization, which is why I think it's so appropriate, Natalia, that this museum is going to be hosting, as you announced, the winning essays of this contest, because in many ways those essays do exactly what this museum, as she said, means to do for Miami, which is to preserve the legacy, the collective memory, as it were, of Miami itself and of this generation. So I hope that many, many years from now, when you will have gone on to even greater things, you will come back to the museum and read your stories again and feel extremely proud of how you contributed to the collective memory, as I said, of Miami. Let me finish by mentioning, I read your essays very carefully, and I drew many things, many lessons, many, I would say, experiences, personal experiences from reading your stories. But I want to just, we don't have time for more, so I just want to highlight one idea, one image that I took from each one of those 4 winning essays, because I want to share with you what, as a reader, I felt reading your stories. So let me see if I made a note here. Yes. So Emilia did something very interesting. What I took from your essay was the image of the suitcase as a metaphor for life. Life, both in terms of the suffering, but also of the joy. The suffering of leaving and seeing others leave, and the joy of rebuilding your life. And all of that is, in a way, inside that suitcase. And that suitcase symbolizes all of that. I love that image, and I thought that was a wonderful idea. And I believe you said, I have been through a lot, but suffering doesn't define me. Overcoming that suffering does. And I think that's a wonderful sentence, and I think it catches very much the message of your story. Vincenzo, you also said some really interesting things. In your case, it wasn't so much an image that struck me. as an idea. You said we are defined by our memories and our experiences, and they help us grow. And just as importantly, they prepare us for the future, which is always uncertain. And this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. I think it's very important. What you did is an act of extreme maturity. You took an experience that was a tough one, that hurt you at the time, and you used it very intelligently to grow as a human being. And then you said to yourself, well, the future is uncertain. I cannot know what's going to happen, but I know that the experiences I've been through will prepare me for those challenges in the future. And I thought that was a wonderful, wonderful idea. In the case of Emma, Emma said, sacrifice is the price of freedom, and strength is born from struggle. The tools used to struggle are adaptability and connection. That is extremely important. Adaptability. And I think that is part of the migration story. The ability to adapt is one of the traits of the human species. But also connection. The ability to connect, the ability to communicate, the ability to build bridges is what makes community life possible. So I thought that was an extraordinarily important idea. The idea that adaptability and connection can help an individual in their struggle with tough, difficult, challenging experiences. And then finally, Ana. Ana built her essay, her story, around the word saudade, which in Portuguese, well, I was telling her before we began that it's a word I've always loved. It's a word that doesn't have a perfect translation in any language. She translates it as she probably should, as melancholy, and then goes on to say that it's something that stems from the absence of a person or a place that used to be there and that is suddenly removed from you, and that creates saudade. But I still think the word melancholy, although it comes very near, it doesn't quite catch everything that's in the word saudade in Portuguese. But anyway, she builds her story around that idea. And what's important is that saudade, which is that type of melancholy, becomes a creative force. She says it is the consequence, saudade, is the consequence of change, in her case of difficult change, of tough, maybe even almost traumatic change. But then she says it's also a stimulus, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing here, for change, for positive change. In other words, she's doing, she's doing this, I think, extraordinary thing, which is very intelligently and with great maturity, confronting her own experience and learning from it what she needs to know in order to confront the future. But that is also a creative process. And in many ways, saudade becomes not only melancholy of the past, but it becomes a creative force for the future. So I love that whole idea. So anyway, congratulations to all of you. Thank you once again to all of you for participating in this project. And I really hope this is the beginning of a wonderful story, of a long, long, long story, as long as a novel, hopefully. And I hope that every year we can celebrate the creative powers of the new generation of Miami-Dade's community, and the legacy and the collective memory that will stem from these wonderful essays and these wonderful stories. Thank you so much.
Well, so far, we have heard from the organizers, the educational authorities, the sponsors, but we have not heard from the subject of this context, which is the students of ISPA. On behalf of the students of ISPA, we have David Padilla, who was the student ambassador who became the voice and presence of Cátedra Vargas Llosa at the International School Preparatory Academy, from which he will graduate this year. David will tell us how the contest was received by his fellow students. Welcome, David.
Well, first of all, thank you everyone for coming. I'd love to thank every one of you for being here and for contributing for this and making this actually happen. This contest was something that was meant to be brought out a long time ago, and it was finally done, and I'm so glad that it happened here at ISPA. It's a wonderful school. It really is. You know, as Dr. Blanco said, you really do have to live it and see the experience of everybody and how just everyone gets along. So many different cultures and just combining and forming an alliance of just beautifulness. So I'm so glad to be the student representative here at the school. I mean, it was truly an honor seeing every one of you participate and take this as a chance to speak and really voice out your stories, because it really is a part of you, and it is extremely important to take that and share it with the world. Something that Mr. Vargas Llosa said, which I very much liked, the art of storytelling is something that has been composed and kept in our society for many years, and an eminent factor that has brought us together. So this is definitely something that should be kept on doing and hopefully for many years to come. So yeah, this was a great experience. I'm so thankful for every one of you that have contributed to this, and of course we're here to give thanks to our winners and to it really means a lot to me, because as a student, not only do I see them as just another student being there, but as my peers, as my friends, and I'm so glad that this experience was being able to be shared with them. So thank you so much for participating, and congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. We will now move to the most significant part of our program, presentation of the awards. My Miami immigration story contemplated several awards. To the school of the winning student, the award was $3,000. To the teachers prepping up the student writers, it was $200. And for all writers, it was $25, because we believe that all intellectual effort must be rewarded. And for the first place, so the winner of the essay contest, $1,500. For the second place, $750. And for the third place, $300 each. We have a tie, so we have 2 third places. I will now call upon Dr. Modesto Mailique, Natalia Cruz, the Honorable Vice Consul of Brazil. Is he here? Yes. Oh, that was your seat. I'm so sorry. Could you please join us? Could you please join us? Could you please join us here for the presentation of the awards? The Deputy Consul of Brazil is Jose Renato Ruiz Ferreira, who's head of the Cultural and Commercial Affairs at the Consulate. I want you all to gather at the stage in order to start the presentation of the awards. Álvaro Vargas Llosa and Dr. Modesto. No, first of all, we would like Milagros Maldonado to give David Padilla a certificate of appreciation. So, para por ahí. So now, Álvaro Vargas Llosa, Dr. Modito Maidiki, please move where the awards are, who will now present the third place award to Vincenzo Calaña for his essay on the meaning of migration. Okay, Vincenzo. Vincenzo, would you care to tell us what did you write? Put it here.
There's a microphone right here.
Okay, there's one. Okay.
Well, when I first heard about this contest, David Padilla, right? He went into my class, and he just told everyone in the class, we're gonna hold a contest here in the school about about a migration story. And at that exact moment, I felt excited because I got to tell my story. Because I don't have many chances to tell this story, but I finally got one. Thanks to this competition, to this. And then I saw everyone, mostly everyone of the school participated. And I'm happy that everyone participated, but it made me feel that everyone experienced something like me. And I wasn't really alone in what everyone experienced and what I experienced. But then I felt excited again because I really actually got to tell my story, and excited even more because I won third place. But no, I feel an insane amount of gratitude for everything that I've experienced in my life. Thanks to my parents, my whole family, even up to my grandparents that gave my parents and my parents gave me to, well, okay. Nothing. My experience made me me, and because of that, I get to tell you what I went through, even though it wasn't that bad, you can say. I still feel that I got to mature and make myself a better person because of what I went through. So again, thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Well, now Álvaro Vargas Llosa, Dr. Modesto Maidiki, who was the jury chair, and Natalia Crujeras will present the award to the third place to Emilia Molina. Emilia Molina wrote an essay titled 600 Words and a Suitcase. Emilia?
First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity of letting me be here. I am very thankful for everything that has been allowed for me to be the third place winner. I would like to thank my parents, first off, my mom and my dad, for allowing me to be here in the United States today. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. Especially my dad, who was one of my biggest inspirations for the story. Also, basing myself out of the Odyssey, one of the books I've been reading constantly because it's one of my favorite tales, basing on the hero's journey, which I could see it in my dad all the time, and in my mom as well, and as in myself, because we all go through things that they may be hard for us at some point, but how we overcome it and how we tell it to people, it's really important that we show the message and our strength during those moments. So I would really like to thank also the school, ISPA, for giving me the opportunity as well to speak here. And yeah, to the foundation, everybody here, thank you very much.
Now, the second place is going to be presented to Emma Robaina Short for her essay, Mom, the Light Went Out Again.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start off by saying thank you for giving me the honor to receive this award, but most importantly, to my mother, who this story is mostly about. From a child, my favorite movie has always been Finding Nemo, and that is the definition of who my mother is. A quote that always will stick to me is just keep on swimming, just keep swimming, and that's something my mom always did and always conquered. And I just want to say thank you, and I'm so grateful for everything.
I will now ask the Honorable Deputy Consul of Brazil to join Álvaro Vargas Llosa to present the award to Ana Rodriguez. The first place. Ana won the first place for her essay, which was so. Okay, it was a mosaic of words for my travel for my journey with Saudade.
So I would like to say thank you for everyone in this room to making this possible. Also to my family, to my parents, to my sister, to my brother, and to all of my friends who have been with me through this journey. So basically my essay was about a Brazilian word, because I wanted to put a little bit of my culture in that essay. I think Brazil and all of our countries meant something really different to us. I can say to you what Brazil means to me, because you guys are not Brazilian, and you guys can say to me what Peru or what Spain meant to you. And I think we are made from our memories and for the things we have been passing through. And migration is a thing that no one can explain. You just feel it. And even though you guys don't know what saudade means, if you have time, search it up. But You guys have saudade, and I can say that for everyone that ever lived someone they loved, a place they loved, to find new opportunities. Everyone has a little bit of saudade, and in the end, I put it in my essay, it's just gonna be me and my saudade. But not because I'm alone, because only you can feel your pain for leaving everything behind to find new opportunities. Thank you.
And with the words of the winner of the contest, My Miami Migration Story, Ana Rodriguez, and the expectation that the Miami Migration Story will become the sounding box to define the contributions of migration to Miami's multicultural identity, as well as define the traces of the home chosen by all those who have decided to call Miami home. Thank you for being with us. We will meet again next year, and we now invite you to enjoy refreshments.